That graceful, eerie woman was beautiful. There was a promise of burning love for Reporter Cranford in her passionate green eyes. But the news hawk shuddered, for he knew that she had slept the sleep of death with the dank, grisly corpses in the morgue. Lines of disgust showed in Cranford's face. His hands were thrust deeply into the huge pockets of his topcoat as he strolled across town, going eastward on 23rd. A thin mist had begun to shoot in from the river, choking the glare of the street lights. Cranford felt its clammy air slapping against his skin, making it feel wet and cold. Effortless, he noted that the street grew more deserted as he approached First Avenue. The old buildings loomed like ghostly hulks in the weaving spirals of mist. Below he could faintly make out the black ribbon that was the East River, dirty river, murderous river. Like a slippery serpent, it wound around the metropolis, sinister and silent, keeping many a secret on its filthy bottom. As Cranford reached the avenue, he turned north. Here the mixture of night and mist was a madman's concoction. To a person of Cranford's sensitivity, it connotated a fitting jest. His lips slid back to a smile, though he felt far from that act. Why should it not be so, he thought. Perhaps his hunch had been right. That is, that something might break soon. The thought sent a chilling thrill through him, which in itself well repaid the miserable trot down the black section of the city. It seemed to put new life into him, and in a moment he was swinging along, his gait a bit firmer, his face a little bit more hopeful. Presently he entered the squat building that seemed to jut out to the river. He stopped in the dismal hallway long enough to have the silence of the place play on his nerves. He was smart. He knew he could whip himself up to a pitch of anxiety if he did this. His nostrils quivered, and he let the pungent smell of chemicals assail him with their meaning of misery. Before him there was a wooden stairway that rose steeply to the second floor. Dirty yellow light burned at the head of the passageway, throwing a meager bit of illumination on the worn wood. Beyond that loomed immovable shadows. He moved forward and climbed the creaking stairs. At the left of the landing was a door leading to a small office. On the glazed glass, in thick black letters, were the words, "Mortuary Department." The reflection of light on the glass told Cranford that inside there would be Detective Sergeant Harris. Perfunctorily, Cranford knocked and entered the office of the man who had charge of the morgue of the great city. Harris looked up from his desk. "What the hell?" he mumbled. "What the hell is right," smiled Cranford. "When in doubt, come down to the morgue, that's what." Harris swung around in his chair and faced the young man. "Say, I thought only young cubs covered this place." He eyed Cranford closely. "Seems to me your cub days were over 2 years ago, when you broke the Shirley murder case." "And I've been looking for something ever since," Cranford muttered. "They made me a roving reporter, and for a while I picked up plenty. It was a sweet life, Harris, and you can bet your bottom dollar I thrived on it. But it's 6 weeks now since I've had something worthwhile. Nothing but fires, conventions, a few anti-gang meetings that didn't gel, and a sensational divorce case that wasn't sensational." Harris interrupted him. "Perhaps this world is reforming. Ever stop to think of that, eh?" "Nuts. I'm going stale. That's the trouble. I'm losing my nose for news. If I don't scare up something worthwhile in a hurry, two things are apt to happen. Either they will fire me, or I will turn in my police card and go back to being a grocery clerk somewhere." Harris wondered for a moment why this engaging young reporter, who had broken the toughest murder case in the city, had come here tonight. To confide his troubles? He had the answer with Crawford's next outburst. "How many stiffs you got here, Harris?"